Hey friends, Tuxx here. For this particular video, we're going to do kind of a little Q&A. I'm going to answer a few questions in celebration of hitting 5,000 subs. And I want to thank you guys, honestly. It was really great hitting 5,000. I thought of a lot of different ways of doing this video. This particular time, I'm going to do it this way, which is going to be kind of like a PowerPoint. And I thought about just, showing the PowerPoint and, displaying not my hand motions or anything, but just a PowerPoint video. But I decided to go ahead and kind of have the camera record off the monitor, which I know isn't the best quality way, but that way I can kind of communicate and do some little finger stuff with you guys. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this. If you have suggestions for future Q&A videos, let me know in the comments below, or of course you can email me at tuxtoys@gmail.com. Okay, so anyway, 5,000 subs. I'm honestly blown away, guys. When I made this channel, I never dreamed I'd have 5,000 subs, so to me it's super cool. And what's cool about it is the fact that I get to share the joy of collecting toys and collecting things and being myself with you guys. I love shopping, as you know, and it's really great. So let me go through these. Sometimes I might skip ahead a little bit in the text. Other times I may actually fall a little behind, but this is kind of a PowerPoint. So going on to slide number 2, from here I want to cover a few basic rules basically for the video. Again, thank everyone for subscribing to me. Huge bonus for me, and it really motivates me to make the best videos I can make, or just keep making them better, I should say. Next up, again, I want to thank everyone who took time to actually ask questions. That's what kind of makes this video special, and I'll probably do another one of these down the road, maybe at 10,000 or at some point, I'm not sure when. And you guys know I am very active in answering questions in the comments, so where people don't really respond to comments, maybe a Q&A is a huge deal. For me, where I'm always talking to you guys and I like, two-way communication, this may not be that big of a deal, but I wanted to throw this video out there anyway so you guys can have a chance to answer or get some questions answered in one spot to make it simple. As far as how to pick the questions, I use random.org to pick questions, and I really tried picking a lot of them, but I kind of put them in no particular order, kind of just randomly. And if your question didn't get answered, sorry in advance. If you email me at tuxtoys@gmail, I can try and answer your question for you down the road, or we can do it in a future video. Okay, so first question here. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to display the actual user up here, okay? And I'm probably going to slaughter some of these names, so again, I want to apologize if I say the names wrong or whatever, but these are people who kind of visit my channel and friends of the channel, so I'd recommend checking out their channels, okay? But the first one here is Mr. Mordo85, okay, asks basically, how do you feel about custom amiibos, and can I get a shout out? So yes, there's your shout out. Check out the channel there. And how do I feel about them? I love them, actually. I think they're really cool. I mean, these are just a few examples of custom amiibos, and if you're not sure what this whole thing is, there's a kind of a community around amiibos where people buy normal ones and then they alter them to make them like special and unique. It could be turning a normal Pokemon into a shiny Pokemon, or in this case here they turned one color Mario with a red flame into a blue flame and changed his outfit and everything. So it's a great chance for someone who's really creative and has a little bit of art skill to actually do something unique. This one here even took it a step further, where they went ahead and took off the Wii Fit girl, which you can see there in the background, and they actually put a anime girl there, and it looks like that probably is a Figma or something. But you could actually, if you're good with sculpting and stuff, you could actually maybe change the outfit or do different things. I'm not sure exactly which girl that is from, so I don't think it's completely made from scratch, but it's cool they made it that way. And of course they changed the villager boy there too. And then some people even take it a step further, where they'll alter the amiibo, like this little Pokemon here, and then they make a custom card stock for it and have the name of the Pokemon and kind of make a retail version ready. And you can actually buy like all types of things like this on eBay. So if you're an artist, it's a great way of making a few bucks. If you're someone who's a collector, it might be a chance to get that special Pokemon that's not an amiibo yet or whatever, or some other kind of cool anime thing. So I love it. I'll probably do some things like this down the road. My art skills are not great, but I do paint, I do sculpty, things like that. I don't really have an art channel necessarily, but I do art stuff here and there, and maybe down the road I'll actually do a custom amiibo and show you guys, okay? So it's a cool idea, and just thanks for bringing this up. Great subject. Okay, next up here, Exotic Lemon Lover, okay, asks, I really like your channel a lot, do you plan on doing some gaming videos? And they feel they could boost my reviews a lot. Yeah, actually, I've thought about it, and I do plan on doing some. I kind of have that beta channel, Gamer Tuxx, which is right here, you can see, and that channel, I've just done little things on it. I really devoted a lot of time to Tuxx toys and do Tuxx reviews, but I'm always kind of playing with this Gamer Tuxx thing, and I'd love to do a channel down the road. I love talking about video game news and insider stuff and retail trends, that kind of thing. There's a channel, a show called Pactor Factor, where it's kind of a business guy, and he talks about, he's like an analyst, and he talks about like the, you know, how consoles are doing, if they're going to make it or not, and forecast trends and stuff like that. And I enjoy watching that type of channel. I also watch Stonefox Media a bit, and he does like video game news and gossip and stuff. And there's lots of people who do stuff like that. There's, you know, just trying to think of a few off the top of my head. Full Metal Jesus, am I saying that right? I'm not sure. There's several video game review channels, and I think that'd be something fun, which I'd love to do on camera down the road. And I'm actually working towards at some point maybe doing that when the time feels right and I have the time to devote to it, and I have the area to record in just right and everything else. But for now, I do have some kind of cool stuff on Gamer Tuxx. I have things like I've tried different things like Overwatch. I'd open a bunch of loot boxes or maybe Pokemon cards or whatever. Sometimes I'll advertise like shiny and amiibos you can get, or not amiibos, like downloadable content for Pokemon. And I even tried like an overreaction video. A lot of people do reaction videos, and just for fun, this one's kind of silly, guys, but I did a overreaction video where actually I get a little misty-eyed, if you will, watching this particular video, because it is a little touching. And I'll admit that I do love like love stories and stuff, and sometimes I'm not afraid. I'm secure in my masculinity enough that if something is really sad or whatever, I cry a little. I might get a little sad at movies and stuff, and this is a little bit of an overreaction, so I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, guys, but the video really did touch me. And if you haven't seen some of the Overwatch little trailers they're like Pixar quality animation, and they're for the game Overwatch, so there's some cool stuff there. But check out Gamer Tuxx, subscribe to it, then you'll know that you're one of the early adapters to the channel, and I'll thank you guys for that down the road too. But I'll probably have more better content on this channel down the road, but for right now I'm just testing different things to kind of see what sticks. I'm of course looking to play games online at some point too. That'd be a great thing to do. I mostly play computer games, I'll be honest with you, like MMOs and things, StarCraft, you know, things like that. I do have like pretty much every console, but sometimes it can be kind of hard to record those, and so there's problems with that. And then also companies like Nintendo have deals where they really don't want you recording and doing less plays unless they have like a whole profit sharing thing about you know, making their videos or whatever. They take full ownership if you don't do this and that and the other thing, and it creates a whole problem. So I might do more like indie games or something like that, like Indie Crate or something down the road. But anyway, to answer this question, yes. Okay. Moving on along, next question here is from Anna, and she is asking me, be sure and check out her channel. She is asking me what is my favorite thing in my collection, and that's really hard. I think as far as just picking one, I really can't, because then I start thinking about like what's the oldest thing in my collection, what is like my rarest thing, what's the most valuable thing. It's really hard just to pick one. The rarest would be Blue Snaggletooth, which is this guy right here, and I do have the Star Wars video here I made a long time ago. It's the first video I made on like used toys, and they're actually like childhood Star Wars toys of mine, which are in really bad shape, but some of them are kind of worth a little bit of money depending upon who you talk to. And I made this video, and when I made it, I was actually a little bit embarrassed because I had them shipped to me after not seeing them for a long time, like a million years. And when I opened up the box, they were all like yellowed and kind of dirty and stuff, and I was kind of embarrassed, and I honestly did not look at them before I made the video. And so during the video I was a little shy, if you will, thinking, oh god, like my normal toy view people are gonna see this and they're gonna like be like, wow, like you kept really bad care of those toys or whatever. And I know like other people who collect toys, you know, from their childhood, and they seem like they're in better condition than mine, so I was a little embarrassed, and that shows in the video. And I did get a lot of hate actually from people about Star Wars. This is actually a follow-up video where I'm a little more gentle, but the original video has like a 400,000 plus hits or whatever, or 450,000 hits. It's a lot for me anyway, and a lot of people, Star Wars fans, took offense to it because in some cases I tossed the toys down like about 6 inches, and they thought that was like throwing them violently or something. But anyway, so that's the rarest. As far as my favorite, again, it's too hard to ask, but I have to say the ones that mean the most to me, honestly, in a lot of cases are gifts. A lot of things which I didn't necessarily always collect Figmas and stuff, but it was the type of thing where my first Figmas were actually gifts, and it was the type of thing where I always wanted them, but for some reason, like the cost of like, sometimes they're like $50, $60, $70. The cost of them mixed with just buying them, I kind of like would rather put the money to something else at the time. But actually, like, I am kind of a little bit OCD when it comes to collecting things. So once I had a couple, and then I was like, oh shit, now I'm like really starting a collection here, so I need to make sure I'm getting all of them. So anyway, that is kind of the deal with that. And so I started collecting them, and of course Pokemon plushes and Pokemon figures, and I love all that stuff. It's really great. And again, it's just really too hard to just pick one. Super difficult for me. Okay, next one here is from Sonic Mutant Show, and there's a couple questions here. Question, let's see, Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Did you Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and do you play, I guess they're asking, did I play Sonic 1 and Crash Bandicoot? And then also asking, what is your favorite console? Okay, to answer the question, Sonic, yes, but I was kind of a Super NES kid, okay? So, like, I didn't really have a Genesis right away. Later, I did get one, and then I want to say I might have sold it to buy a Super NES again or something. I don't remember what happened with that exactly, but I did get one, and I did enjoy it a lot. And truth be told, even though I was kind of a Super Nintendo guy, I know there's always a big rivalry between Super Nintendo and Genesis, but Genesis Sonic was faster than Mario, and I love Mario. Mario is probably, I'd have to look up the statistics, but I want to say Mario probably sold more, but Genesis had some great games, and it probably was a faster system than Super Nintendo from a spec standpoint. Okay, Crash, yes, I loved Crash. The original PlayStation in my life came at a very great time for me. It was a perfect time where I really needed a video game system, something new and exciting, and I really felt like video games were getting kind of tired, you know. Super Nintendo was around for a really long time, and the PlayStation 1, between being Sony and having like commercially licensed music and games and like arcade quality graphics, it really felt new and exciting, so I really loved it. And the original PlayStation is definitely one of the best systems ever. And my first console actually was the Atari 2600 way back in the day, and that I was so young, like maybe I was too young to own video game systems or something, but we had one in the house and I really loved it, and it was great. And to this day I have very fond memories of playing some really like bad 8-bit games. Okay, this person here, Super Players Can Be Bookworms, has two questions. How do you collect your toys, plushies, and Amiibos cards, and what is your favorite Nintendo console, and a shout out. Okay, so there's your shout out. Check out the channel. And favorite Nintendo system, I mean, if people ask like, what is your favorite, and sometimes in the case of video games I have to look at is like, is your favorite like the thing you played the most of, like the most hours played, or does it mean like the rarest thing or whatever? So for hours played, I think out of all consoles in my entire life, it would be Super NES. For total hours played, it'd have to be PC, because I'm a PC gamer, and I mean, as far as playing like MMOs like Dofus or World of Warcraft, I'll spend hours playing them, especially Dofus in particular. There'd be times where I'd play like 8-14 hours straight, you know, so definitely PC. But for consoles, Super NES for hours played. For a collection, probably my favorite console is just as far as like uniqueness, I got a Pokemon GameCube, and this type of thing where they were just starting to get marked down. I was out of town and I was flying back in town, and I got a call, and she was like, hey, do you want a Pokemon Game Boy or GameCube? And they're like Kmart or one store had them, and I was like, yes, buy it for me. And I got home and I had this purchase for me, and it made me feel so good. And it was the type of thing where I wasn't expecting buying it, but it really is one of my cherished consoles in my collection. A lot of my favorite things I love, honestly, are things that were given me as gifts too. I'm very sentimental, and I really love getting gifts, and I love giving gifts, and the things I get from loved ones makes me feel really great. So a lot of things are gifts. Okay, Kitten, regular viewer, YouTube friend here. Do you follow the or engage in the Brony community? And if not, would you like to? And shout out, yeah, definitely check out Kitten's channel there. You see the information. And as far as bronies go, let me see how I answered this one. Let's see. Yes. Okay. I would love to go to brony.com. Do I consider myself a brony? Not really. And I love My Little Pony. And the only reason why I say I'm not is like when I think of like Star Wars fanatics, like they know every little detail of every little show and every little movie, and like, oh no, the Ewoks were 300 plus and they had white fur if they were a tribe leader or whatever. And I don't know details about like Star Wars or My Little Pony or any real series to the fandom level where it'd be like, oh yeah, in episode 103 of My Little Pony, blankety blank blank blank, Pony did this and Discord said that and whatever. I love My Little Pony, and I think going to My Little Pony, like BronyCon, I think would be awesome. And I was given a Brony t-shirt actually too by a loved one, and I wear it all the time around the house. So sometimes if someone randomly comes knocking at the door, I might just answer the door in a Brony t-shirt. Okay, so I am not ashamed. Okay, and I love My Little Pony, and yeah, I have a Brony t-shirt, but I don't know if my knowledge is good enough. Like if I went to BronyCon, I might feel weird because I might not know all the weird little details about the show that some of the super fans know. Have we talked about going? Yes, in the last week or two I've mentioned going to BronyCon, so it's something that's definitely on the radar. It's just a matter of trying to get travel arrangements right and time everything out with other trips and other things going on. This year's been really difficult for me. I'm doing some vacation stuff just because of other things going on as far as planning around other trips and schedules and stuff, but definitely it's a con that I would love to go to down the road. I know that other YouTubers do go there. I see videos like Radio JH Audrey goes there, Chad Allen, Delastic, a few other ones, but they're all kind of cliquey, and those are not YouTubers. I like those YouTubers. I know they're real popular, but they're not people I usually talk to on a regular basis. I have talked through comments to them, here or there, probably each of them a few times, and gotten some replies and that kind of thing, and had a little bit of two-way conversation, but I don't really know them, but there's other YouTubers that I feel like kind of do know better, ones that, I don't know personally, but through YouTube is what I'm trying to say, like Greer Girls and XY Adventures and some of these other channels, which I've known these guys for like a really long time, Niece Time, and they're people I've known, for like 2-3+ years on YouTube, and we talk regularly, like off YouTube, off chat, about different aspects of YouTube and other things, so those people I know a little bit better, and if they were going to it, it might actually motivate me to go to it more, because then I would know that I have some familiar people, and definitely if we were to go, it would definitely be something where it'd be great for the channel, I'm sure, and I'm sure I'd find lots of really cool things and make some new friends there too. But it's the type of thing where I don't really know a lot of people that go, so I don't really engage the community enough, and maybe that's what I need to do to feel more comfortable in knowing that I would have some friends there. So, all right, continuing on. Okay, next up here, let's see, this person here, are those Super Smash? Okay, that's not really a question. For the Q&A, what is it that you started in collecting? Was it a particular game, particular toy, etc.? Enter me, please. Okay, so I guess, like, when I was a little kid, I did collect Star Wars figures, okay, and that goes back to this video of Mystery Box of Star Wars, and it's at 446,000 views, okay, so people have watched that quite a bit, and that's one of the oldest things I collected. But as a kid, I mean, I went through lots of phases, like a lot of people. I'd go through, like, comic books, records, Star Wars toys. For a lot of time in my life, I've been a DJ, so I collected records for a really long time. I was both a wedding DJ first, and then that planted me into doing a little bit of club DJing, and then I started doing a little bit of radio DJing, and then big time club DJing, and then I kind of got out of DJing. So records were a big part of my life. Music's been a big part of my life. But I've always loved video games, so I've always been collecting video games. Pokemon, I love Pokemon from the very beginning, and right now it's been exploded to even a bigger part of my life since about 2004 or so, or maybe 2003, when I became a official Nintendo sanctioned gym leader at a store I was running, and I met a lot of people in the community then, so I'm really active in Pokemon. And then anime, I've always loved anime, for many years, going way back to Akira, Project Eiko, stuff like that, to more modern stuff like Hiroti and K-On! And whatnot. So anyway, really cool stuff. Down here, there's a question about the Star Wars toys in the unboxing, what happened to them. I still have them. I haven't sold them. I did say that if people want me serious offers, I'll listen to offers, but I don't really tend to sell toys anymore. So if I got some great offer or something, and if I really couldn't refuse, maybe I would take it, but I'm not really looking to sell them. But the video is up there if you want to check it out. And again, I have to say there's a lot of hate in that video towards me, because in some cases I throw the toys down a little bit, and I guess they felt I wasn't giving the toys proper respect. But it wasn't not giving the toys respect. It was more a case of me being a little embarrassed because the toys were in bad condition, and I felt bad that I didn't take better care of them through the years. Okay, next up. Let's see, this one here, Dark Purple has a series of questions. Let's see, what is your favorite Pokemon? What is your favorite anime? And why did you start doing YouTube? Okay, favorite Pokemon, Meloetta, Skitty, the new ones, Rowlet, are all really cool. I have a lot of them though. If you watch my videos, you'll see me talk about a lot of my favorites. And but Meloetta is my favorite, and I think a lot of you guys probably know that because I talk about it like all the time. And it's the December Pokemon 20. I cannot wait for that Pokemon 20. It's gonna be awesome. My favorite anime is Melancholy of Hiroshi Suzumiya. I feel a lot of connections to this anime. Just as far as my birthday is on Tanabata. I love things that deal with time travel. I love that show. There's so many great intricate little loops in that show, and it's just such a well-written story. Both, you know, the season 1, season 2. I love the Endless 8. I have no problems with that. I watched that. I've watched this in the background, like while I'm doing things, playing long gaming sessions. I'll just play the whole series 1 and 2, like back to back to back to back. And I really enjoy that show a lot. The music, everything. I also enjoy K-On! A lot too, which is another one of my favorite animes. And you can see here I have a Ritsu unboxing. I do collect a lot of the K-On! And Hiroshi Suzumiya Figmas. So really cool stuff. Really into both those shows. But I do have a lot of favorite animes. I mean, more modern stuff I love. I could go on and on about anime, but those are a couple of my very, very favorites that I've spent the most hours watching, if that's what you consider your favorite being. Okay, next up, let's see here. This person asks, how many years have you been on YouTube? Oh, good question. Okay, YouTube, my first real video was on my Tuxx Reviews channel, which I just kind of made as like a little side project. I was still gaming a lot, okay, on MMOs, so I didn't have the most time to spend on it, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to make weird little videos or just throw up random things. And my very first video was on September 6, 2011, and it was a video called Iguana Attacks, okay? And it is on Tuxx Reviews. You can watch it. I was actually at this house on the island, and I was walking kind of like off from my car, and a huge iguana fell from a tree, and this tree is way up there. It's like 20 feet in the air, and this is a big iguana. It's the size of like a fat cat, and this thing came just flew straight down at me, and I caught it on tape. So I thought it was kind of funny, and I started putting some early toy reviews on there too. And then later I kept being told that I should make a toy channel like dedicated to toys and separate like more like computer hardware and adult things, you know, from toys, because it's a different viewer that might like either of those two. So I've kind of separated like some of the stuff. Basically, if it's a toy or a video game console, it's probably more on Tuxx Toys. If it's more of a PC gaming thing or like men's fashion or things like that, that's probably more on Tuxx Reviews. Tuxx Reviews really could be anything, but there is some early videos, even like My Little Ponies and Figmas and lots of cool toy stuff on Tuxx Reviews, so you can check that out. My only thing is like I have to disclaimer it because it was before I had good lighting and sound and whatnot. So and I'm always working on those elements too, so don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but they're taken off of like an older cell phone or something, or I forget how I recorded them, but the sound and the audio is a little shaky in points. But anyway, you can check it out if you want. Tuxx Reviews, I recommend it. Okay, next up here, Sir Slim asks, what is your favorite game for Sega Genesis? Okay, and there's a few really. I used to love arcade shooters a lot, and one of the first games I got for Sega Genesis actually was kind of like a Space Invader clone. I don't remember exactly why I started with that one, but it's something that looked cool, and I bought it with my Genesis when I first got it. Thunder Force 3 is kind of like an arcade shooter that you see, like the little planes and all the things flying at you real fast and frantic. And I love games that have like both kind of a almost like games like Tempest, like 3000, Tempest X, games that have kind of a trancey, weird, like epileptic seizure inducing light show kind of thing going on. I love games like that, and this is one of the earlier ones that was run at that time. Also, Night Trap. It was Sega CD, but was really ahead of its time, like a game that used full motion video. I didn't play hours and hours in Night Trap, but I just thought the concept was really cool, and I have to give it credit. And Golden Axe is just a great game that a lot of people might have been their first Sega Genesis game, and is one that I have quite a few hours spent playing of the Genesis titles. So those are some of my favorites, but of course, man, you can't not say Sonic, because Sonic was, definitely a part of video game history and something really cool. So I love Sonic. Okay, next question here. Temmie. Okay, hey Tuxx, close to 5,000. Quick question. Do you collect the? Yeah, actually, I don't know a lot about these Nendoroids or whatever. Hopefully I'm saying it right. But as you can see, these are things that are totally up my alley. I mean, they have K-On!, they have like Nintendo properties like Link, Hiroti Suzumiya. Yes, I want to be doing these down the road. I have gotten some of these kind of through Bobos, I think, and I'll be probably buying some of these on my own, actually, some like official ones that are like probably like not the knockoff China ones. But I really do enjoy them. They're really cute sculpts, as you can see, and I definitely do want to collect them. My answers here, I would love to collect. I'm watching them on eBay, and tons of great Hiroti figures. So like they have like her in all sorts of outfits from the show. Like there's like different like space outfits and all sorts of crazy stuff, but they're all actually from the show. It's not just stuff that's made up to sell toys. They're actually, you know, the correct outfit from the show, which is great. And I love all these characters, so definitely I'll have to pick up some of these down the road. Okay, next up, let's see, Night Stalker. Congratulations on almost hitting 5,000. Okay, question and answer. You go to a lot of cons. Have you ever cosplayed? Great question. Oh, I'm going to go through and kind of power through some of these here too to save a little time on the video too, so it's not too long. To answer this question though, yes, I have done a little bit of cosplay, but typically when I go to cons, I don't usually do cosplay, and the reason why is twofold. One is because usually I'm shooting video, and it can be really hard and distracting if people are wanting to take photos while you're trying to take photos at the same time. And number two is if I was gonna do like cosplay for reals with like an elaborate costume, like maybe enter in a contest or something, I'd probably want to have a hotel like at the con and stay for a few days, like Miami SuperCon, that kind of thing. Usually I just go for one day, and other cons like BlizzCon coming up, I'm gonna be there for the whole thing, but I don't necessarily plan on doing cosplay while I'm there, because that thing is gonna be packed to the gill. It's sold out in like 15 seconds or less, and that is a crazy big con. That would be the biggest con I ever went to, and also the farthest I ever traveled for a con. But I do love cons. Again, I like to go to BronyCon down the road. There's been talk about that one. There's been talk about different close things like Tampa Comic Con, Orlando, things like that. We tried going to San Diego Comic Con, but there's a problem. We couldn't get tickets, and it became a whole issue, so we decided to hold off for this time. And down the road, though, I would definitely like to go to like PAX or some of those cons too, just to see the whole environment of it. And maybe there I will do some cosplay. So anyway, hopefully that answers the question. Okay, next up here, the Peep Geek. What was your motivation when you started making videos, and what advice can you give a new YouTuber, to avoid learning the hard way? Okay, I guess my best advice and would have to be make sure you have good lighting and good sound. That's the most important thing, and I mean, I'm always still trying to improve on those. This video is not the best example of lighting. I'm sure I'm just shooting off a monitor to kind of make this video and get it up as quickly as possible, but good lighting I think is really important. If you look at a lot of my videos, I really try and put a lot of care into like the JPEG, some people call it a splash screen, the image that is like the thing you click on. It's important for that to look really good. As far as sound goes, you know, try and make sure you don't have like AC units going in the background and fans and stuff like that, and try and make sure the microphone you have is good enough that it's recording a good quality sound. And it doesn't have to be like a Yeti or some kind of external microphone, like a Shure microphone or something. It can be off the camera. I have both the cameras I use. I have a Sony 4K camera this is being recorded on, and a different Sony camera that I record on a lot. And both those cameras, the reviews are actually on my channel, so you can see the hardware I use. But yeah, I recommend just make sure the sound is really good and make sure the lighting is really good. Those are two really important factors. And of course, you need some kind of content which is interesting and compelling too. Okay, continuing on. Let's see, huge congratulations on 5,000 subs. If you haven't answered this yet, when did you realize you are a legit toy collector? Okay, thanks Pokebrothers. Check out their channel too. I know they have some cool Pokemon videos and stuff popping up. As far as legit toy collector, I don't know. Like, I guess when I started having so many toys, I didn't have room for toys. I really do collect things a lot. I enjoy the chase. I think I love collecting them. I love showing them. I love owning them. But honestly, the thrill thrill of the hunt is probably one of my favorite things, where like, there's that one last Tokidoki you need, or that one last Figma or something for a set. The thrill of trying to hunt down that thing is really compels me to buy a lot of toys, and I love, once I have my collection, I love having them, but just I love the thrill of the hunt, and I love shopping, so it gives me a great excuse to actually hunt out things, and actually just the whole experience of shopping. It's not just like buying the toy itself, it's the whole, going to the stores and hunting for stuff and talking to people and digging around for bargains, and maybe catching a smoothie on the way or something, or having some curry or something. It's just a really fun outing for me, so I really enjoy shopping. It's all my life I've loved to shop. Okay, continuing on. Kwanis, hey Tuxx, here's my question. You can travel anywhere. Where'd you go first? Japan. Okay, Japan is definitely something which is on my radar, someplace I want to go to, and down the road I will be going to Japan. At some point we'll go ahead and hop over there, and I'm sure I'll shoot a lot of video when I go there, because there's gonna be a lot of cool things to shoot, and I'll be definitely taking in a lot of things off camera too. But definitely good times, and Japan is where I want to go the most if I had to pick one place internationally. Okay, next up, what is your favorite collection back in the day? That probably goes back to back in the day. I collected Star Wars, Matchbox, records, comics, you name it. I mean, as a little kid, I was always changing my collection, and I didn't have a lot of money, I'll be honest with you guys. So like, sometimes I'd have to sell my comic book collection to get a record collection, or I'd sell one video game console to buy the next one or something. So if you're in that particular point in your life where you can't, have everything you want, and that is most of us, I'm sure, you need to, sometimes I would just sell things. And I always worked a lot too. My whole life I've always had, like, even as a little kid, like newspaper routes and things like that. I've been working my entire life, and so that actually helped me to buy the things I like. So okay, next up here, this one here, let's see. Congratulations on 500,000 subs. I'm curious, have you ever considered picking up a Disney related content? So yes, there's several here actually here. Disney, yes, I'd love to. I'm still kind of working on that. If you guys have a favorite Disney like IP, a property, let me know in the comments below here. I'm curious what you guys like, and I do plan on doing some Disney. There's so many collections I do, and I tend to do things which are, I really love, like Japanese culture stuff, or things that are really cute. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if it's something that, like Pokemon or video game related, or like dragons or something or whatever. It can be something really cute like My Little Ponies or something. I really enjoy things that are cute. It makes me happy, and so that is to me the most important part of it. And Disney, there's some cool things in Disney, so I'll probably start collecting those down the road. But if you have a favorite, again, just let me know. Okay, next up, let me see here. Oops, I lost it. Next up, sorry about that. What is your favorite Nintendo game or product? My favorite Nintendo game is so many of them. If I had to say, like Super NES, I love the Mario All-Stars back in the day. I love the Japanese version of Super Mario 2. It had crazy jumps that you'd have to jump off screen to a area where you couldn't see where you're landing, and that was very frightening, making like a super jump into what would be most certain death, except for like there would be like a little piece of land way over here that you couldn't see until you actually were in the air, and that was a really fun game. But typically Tempest has been one of my favorite games all my life. There's a programmer called Eugene Jarvis who made a lot of Williams games, arcade games back in the day. I was an arcade rat as a kid, and so a lot of his games I really enjoy, things like Defender and Tempest. Oh no, he didn't do Tempest, I'm sorry. Robotron, games like Joust was fun back in the day, Narc, and more modern things like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. I mean, I really love games, so it's really hard to pick like one thing, but as far as Nintendo goes, it would probably be that Mario Brothers to Japan. Okay, all right, continuing on. Next up here, what is your favorite anime song? The theme song for Horde Suzumiya, I really love. And I really like most of the K-On! Music too, actually. So K-On! Is a great anime. They use real instruments. I mean, you can actually buy the guitar in K-On! and make a real life version of it. That's one of the characters from K-On! there. And so I love that. And the music they have is just really, really good. So that's probably my favorite, would be Hirodi, followed by K-On! Okay, next up. Enter me, please. What is the oddest thing you collect? Okay, these are some examples here, okay? At least they kind of feel odd to me. When I first started collecting Figmas, the first one I got was a Christmas gift, and I loved it, and I felt so good that someone understood me and loved me so much, and still loves me to this day, who gives me, like, cool Figmas and stuff. And I was a little, like, Figmas, again, they're kind of expensive, so when I got my first Figma, it wasn't something I would really buy for myself, but when I got a Figma, it made me feel so good, and I love it so much that I kept getting. I mean, the first one, I want to say it was probably a Hiroti Figma, or a Keion Figma. I want to say the first one was Hiroti Suzumiya, and I really enjoyed it. And of course, once I start collecting something, then I have to continue the set. So it kind of gave me like a gateway excuse to continue buying more Figmas and things along that nature. But really cool collection, and that is probably the oddest thing. I don't collect anything too weird, you know, but to some people, maybe collecting like retro Pac-Man toys, arcade toys might be weird. Persona Figmas, like even the little blind boxes. I love, you know, cute things like Shopkins and stuff. My Little Pony and Ebos. I'm into all this stuff and more, you know. So I don't really have one really odd thing. Okay, continuing on. How did you get started on YouTube? That's a great question. Here, I'll come back to that. Basically, again, it was kind of, and I think this is asked later too. It's the type of thing where I was kind of starting to slow down on Dofus, this MMO. I was playing super hardcore, and I ran guilds a lot of time, and it was just kind of a chance to communicate with like-minded people, which I really enjoyed. And that's probably really how I got started. And I seen that people could make money on it, you know, and I'm not really out to make money necessarily, but it does help to supply you know, free products sometimes, and help pay for the products that you review and stuff. So it's really a labor of love, but the fact that you can kind of make a little bit of a part-time job out of it makes it like icing on the cake. It's great. Okay, next up, let's see. Flash Taku, like your channel a lot. Check out my channel, blah, 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 blah. Question, how do you feel about the huge hike price on Bobos and the service that they use? Okay, that's a really great question. I didn't really think about the price hike that much because I have a 3-month subscription. Obviously I don't like price hikes, but I have to admit, if you look back in the Bobos videos I have in here, I do a lot of them, and I really do enjoy Bobos. It's a great service where they send you a box of stuff, and the stuff they send is usually brand new stuff, and I don't even know how they make money sometimes, because the boxes are like, they're $30 each essentially, you know, and the boxes really feel like you're getting $30 worth of stuff, and when you add shipping and labor and all that stuff on there, it seems like they're doing it as a labor of love too. So I'd recommend it. As the price gets hiked up, will I continue to sub? Probably, you know, it depends on how much it is. They also offer a $100 box. It seems kind of interesting, and you can check out everything at Bobo's on Facebook, or you can search them up or ask me down here. I'll get you in touch with them to sign up. But it's a cool service. I recommend it, and I love getting gifts. I love giving gifts, and getting a box of random things that are like hand-picked to my liking is just really fun each month, you know. So when I open those videos, it's not just for a video, it's for me. I love the stuff in there, and it makes me happy getting a big box of random stuff. Okay, next up, Tiffany, let's see, what was your favorite toy or figure as a kid, and why? This kind of going back again, it did change a lot. It could be Star Wars, Matchbox, comic books, records, you name it. I was into all that stuff and more, you know, even some weird classic things like, you know, like G.I. Joe, and just all sorts of weird little action figures and things. So, all the above. It's really hard to pick like a favorite for me. Okay, next up, let's see here. Enter me, please. How many Pokemon figures do you have? When do you start collecting figures, toys? Again, my whole life I've been collecting toys. And Pokemon figures, I had some back in the early days of Burger King, where they were giving out the free Burger King toys. That's kind of where I first started collecting. And then I got more later, especially around 2003, 2004, kind of when Pokemon really took off in the United States even more. And I kind of continued following the craze, you know. There's more than the first gen. I love all the modern Pokemon and everything. How many do I have? I have no idea. I have a lot. Like, I have more than I have room for, so I have to like display some, box up some, you know, that kind of thing. So a lot of times I use like old Bobo's boxes or Japan crate boxes to store collections for, like, you know, the ones I don't have on display. Okay, and then finally, again, I want to thank you guys very much. The final question here kind of goes back to that question. Why did you start doing YouTube? Okay, and the real reason is I was very, very active and maybe addicted to this game called Dofus, which is the #1 French MMO. A lot of fun. and I was doing that from 2005 to 2013 on a very hardcore basis. And as I started slowing down in that game a little bit, I wanted to have, you know, kind of an interaction with like-minded people. And basically running MMO guilds is very similar to running a YouTube channel. So I found some similarities there, you know. It gave me a chance to, you know, share my experiences in shopping and something I'm passionate about and love. And basically your viewership and friendship and communicating with me really motivates me to make more and more great videos, you know. So really you guys are a large portion of the reason why I do YouTube. So I just, you know, I really want to thank you guys very much for that. And hopefully, you know, I've answered your questions pretty well. And if you have more questions, you can always email me or something, and I'll probably do another one of these down the road. But anyway, that's it for this particular Q&A, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this didn't run too long for you. Again, I want to thank you guys very much for subbing. It looks like I just hit 5,000, and it may fluctuate a little bit off and on. But we're going to be doing the 5,000 sub giveaway coming up. Be sure and stay tuned for that video very shortly. Within the next few days, I'll have that up. Definitely within the next 7 days, all the details online for you guys. But of course, you can say enter me in this video, and you can actually get your name in a hat for some cool prizes, okay? If you're new to the channel, please sub, guys. Be sure and check out Tuxx Reviews, my review channel. Be sure and check out Tuxx Toys on Instagram and Twitter. Tuxx Reviews has a separate Instagram and Twitter. And of course, my beta channel called Gamer Tuxx. But again, guys, you guys really make the difference for me. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon, friends. Bye-bye.